office in New York City. It's called the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. The Planned Parenthood Federation of America office in New York City does not run any clinics. It does not kill any babies specifically. What they have is they have 78 affiliates around the nation, and it is those affiliates that actually run the clinics that kill the babies. And so closing down Planned Parenthood is going after each of those 78 affiliates, one by one, two by two, whatever we can get, and closing them down. By the way, there used to be 181 Planned Parenthood affiliates, but they have merged and some have gone out of business, and we're down to 78 right now. Planned Parenthood is an organization founded by a woman named Margaret Sanger. She brought with her to Planned Parenthood 3 basic philosophies. And those philosophies still exist in the organization today. Her first philosophy was that of uninhibited sexual activity. Margaret Sanger believed that you ought to be able to engage in sexual activity with anyone you wanted, whenever you wanted, regardless of whether or not you were married to that person, and regardless of whether or not you're married to somebody else. If you want to have sex, have sex. That was Margaret's philosophy. Her second philosophy was that of small family size. Margaret herself was the 6th child of a family of 11 children. But she grew up hating large families and worked all her life for small families. She defined a large family as anything more than 2 children. Margaret Sanger had a problem. She wanted to have lots and lots of sex, but no children. So she became a champion of birth control. Whatever means it took to prevent the birth of a child as a result of sexual activity. That included what you normally call contraception, but also included abortion. Because it was not the prevention of the creation of a child, it was the prevention of a birth of a child. That's why it's called birth control. Margaret's third philosophy was that of eugenics. Margaret believed in the purification of the race through selective breeding. She specifically targeted the black population, any of the minority population, and anybody with physical or mental handicaps. These were all targets of what she wrote about. You can throw Planned Parenthood out. Now people say, how do I do that? Well, the basic answer is to make sure that Planned Parenthood in Jacksonville operates at a loss. If they don't make money, they get closed down. It's really as simple as that. Planned Parenthood will not keep a clinic open that is not covering its costs. It is high school and college girls that are Planned Parenthood's primary customers. In addition to that, they target minority populations, the black population, the Latino population, and in those areas where there's a large quantity, the Asian population. How do you stop them from coming here? You stop them from coming here by making them understand that if they come, they won't make money. And so there are things that you can do. Number one is just to show by your physical presence over the next 40 days that you don't want them here. Be out in front of the building. Even though it's a vacant building, you're sending a message to Planned Parenthood, we don't want you here. They have to get that message clearly. They may think, well, people won't come out for hours to protest. It's out of the way. You got to let them know, no, we're going to be here. Okay? At the same time you're doing that, or right after you finish the 40 days for life, you also want to have a presence outside of their facility on Beach Boulevard because they have to know your objective where they are now, as well as where they're going to be. You should have people who are going in and talking to the local schools, saying, we don't want Planned Parenthood getting into those schools. The other thing you have to look at is any taxpayer money going to Planned Parenthood of North Florida from the city of Jacksonville. On a national level, Planned Parenthood's total income is $1.1 billion a year. They have a financial incentive to get our kids involved in sexual activity, and that's what they're trying to do. And of course, all these birth control products fail a percentage of the time, and a birth control failure is a baby. And if you're going to make billions of dollars selling products and they fail, you better have a way of taking care of the failure, and that is their abortion business. And so as you prepare to go about this 40 days for life, and you prepare to stand out here in front of this building and do all the things that are necessary to close down Planned Parenthood in Jacksonville, I want to end with a promise of Matthew 10. Christ says in Matthew 10, whoever proclaims me before man, I will proclaim him before my Father in heaven. He said, if you're willing to go out in Jacksonville, Florida, where nobody wants to hear from you, and you're willing to preach the Word of God, and you're willing to say abortion is wrong because God says it's wrong. If you're willing to say that premarital sex is wrong because God says it's wrong. If you're willing to go out and proclaim His message, then when you die and you go to heaven and you're facing His Father, and His Father says, what were you doing when they were killing my babies? Christ is going to come over and put in a good word for you. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's one heck of a retirement plan. And so I invite you to join wholeheartedly in this fight. To go out there and to stand when nobody wants you to stand. Good weather, bad weather, doesn't make any difference. You're out there. To get to your city council and cut off the funds for Planned Parenthood. To get to the schools and cut Planned Parenthood out of there. To start the wheels in motion so that Planned Parenthood will be driven out of this community. Do it for the babies and for the teenagers. They need you. They're depending on you. Don't let them down. Thank you.